We are here with John Wayne Anthony Meir. Oh my goodness, where do I start? Philanthropist, inventor, chef, restaurant owner, cannabis developer. What else? What else, Anthony? What else?
Well, I think you got it all, Marty.
Are you sure?
I
You
think
have time
you
for your
did.
family, like.
I think you did. I think you got it all.
I just want to give a little background. 20-something years ago, I had a concept about beer buddies. I never drank a beer in my life. Walked in with 7 suits, and I said, let's do a show about beer and cooking with beer. And they went, oh, that's great, Mr. Gallen. And, it sounds very interesting. And then they said, well, what beer do you drink? And I was like, oh, my God, what beer do I drink? Well, I really like a dark beer, a regular beer. And they, well, which beer? And this is 7 executives from Molson's. They looked at me like I was fumbling, mixed up. And so we did a show, 2 seasons, called Beer Buddies. And I know when we had this idea about cannabis that we thought, this is the beginning. And yesterday, I call up Anthony and I say, I know it sounds late. It's a day away. Is there any way that you can do our show? And he said yes. By the way, as I said earlier, he used to tickle me on set. Now, you're on set and you're doing your lines and someone comes by and they tickle you. And it startles you, but the cameras are rolling. Anthony, you've had such an amazing career. I want you to tell the audience where it started with your mom, because I'll never, ever forget the story, the way you rose up. You stood up, and your mom, like I think about it, and I get goosebumps thinking about the story, the kid that came from Regent Park and became a world-renowned chef. Tell us about that story a little bit.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Marty.
Yes, you too.
It's been a long
No
time.
tickles.
Oh, I will not
No
tickle you.
tickles.
I will not
Absolutely
tickle you.
no
I
tickles.
promise you, no tickling
Okay.
today. So Jamaican by birth.
Yes.
My mother, I came to Canada when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we landed in Regent Park, which was tremendous. And I say this tremendous. People have got a lot of misguided views about Regent Park. What Regent Park was for me was an immense welcome to Canada. Moving here and living amongst every nationality on the planet that existed here was a champion effort for me, because we lived together without issue. So that was important. So Regent Park, in this dichotomy and in this minute moment, it opened up my life, it opened up my mind, it opened up my taste buds, it opened up my spirit, it opened up my energies to be able to be that accepting of all of our nationalities. This includes their cuisine. And this is why we have achieved what we have achieved. I'm not patting myself on my back, but what we have achieved has been as a result of being that open, being that approachable with our cuisine. And what I say about our cuisine is we use the terminology in Canada a lot called multiculturalism. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful word. What I've considered now is what we call the multiculturalism of our cuisine.
A fusion,
Absolutely. So we brought a bread today, and within this bread, not only do we have cannabis and hemp, but we also have other flavors. We have turmeric in our bread.
Right.
We have ginger in our bread.
But we got to just one point before we move ahead.
Yes.
You have to talk about your mom.
My mom.
Because
Yes.
I never met her, but I heard so many stories. Like other people were joining gangs, and you were standing there in the kitchen cooking, and your mom was one of the first chefs in Toronto at CN Tower. Please, let's go back to that before we miss that point.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you have met my mom.
Yes, you're right. I did. I'm sorry.
My mom was the first female sous chef at the CN Tower in 1977 when it first opened.
Wow.
So from my bedroom, you get me all, from my bedroom window in Regent Park, I could see the tower. I could see the revolving restaurant. And so moving to Canada and living in Regent Park, my mother going to work for 3 p.m. every evening, 3 to 11, I had to leave school every day at 2:00 to get home to watch my baby sister so my mother could leave to go to work. So I had to do that for 2 years. So I missed an hour and a half of school every day for 2 years because my mother had to go to work. And again, what this is, it was a nurturing thing. So I had to go home, take care of my sisters, cook for them, clean, do what you need to do until my father got home, my stepfather got home in the evening. So this was a lifelong journey. So my mom, working at the CN Tower and introducing me to the CN Tower at this point in time was the largest dining experience on the planet. You understand?
Like everybody wanted to go there. And everybody was like,
everybody.
Revolving
Everybody.
restaurant.
Do you understand?
like the
it was
big
the
idea,
thing.
the new thing, right?
Amazing. So when I had the opportunity to go to the CN Tower and observe what happened to me was to sit there as a 10-year-old child and see every nationality on the planet represented in that kitchen. It's like, again, you win. Because there were ideas and there were concepts and there were recipes and there were herbs and spices being shared and concocted.
It's true. There's confrontations. Oh, let's use this. Let's see what's coming out.
Absolutely. The sharing, the camaraderie, the communication, the energy that was developed as a result of fusing these nationalities in this kitchen above the clouds in our city. Well, those emotions inspire me up until today. To be able to spark and ignite that spark in my 10-year-old self, it's been I'm 51, so I can say that. It's been a 41-year journey. It's been a 41-year journey to get to this point, to be able to speak to you about putting cannabis in my food, which is very exciting. Very exciting.
So the food is here on the table.
Well,
and the composition of the food is. Enrico, you're a chef. Let's start with you with a question to Enrico about what you're seeing here.
Well, the question that I have, first of all, is like, when you are using the cannabis,
yes, sir.
There is a strong like flavor that comes from the plant that you have to try to, I don't know how to say it, like hide a little bit because maybe the cannabis is too strong and overpower the rest of the ingredients?
I'm going to adjust your term. I'm going to use a different word. I'm going to say that the flavor that the cannabis leaf, the cannabis plant exposes doesn't need to be masked. It needs to be fused. It needs to be blended. It needs to be harmonized. The words we use when we speak about cannabis is a part of the problem. For too long, there has been negative connotations. There has been ugly words. There has been unappetizing words that are fused with cannabis. That conversation can no longer happen because there are too many of us that know the benefits of this plant, that are intentional on changing the language and the communication and the conversations around cannabis. So when we do speak with it, the intentionalities are to speak about the health and wellness benefits of it. So when we use words like mask, I don't like that word.
It's like the taboo is still in the words, we are trying to go away from that mentality,
Absolutely.
but still we're using the wrong word.
You're using
because
the wrong word.
we are there say pointing the whole negativity mentality that
wrong word, wrong connotation.
But
wrong.
I think he's looking at something. He's looking at chlorophyll, probably, right?
No, that's not what he's looking at. What happens when you cook the cannabis? Forgive my...
No problem.
Yeah,
I want to know, too.
What happens when you cook the cannabis, sometimes the flavonoids, the flavors that it exposes are unappetizing depending on what you're doing with it. Okay. Right? So if I am now introducing cannabis into, let's say, a tea, for me, I think one of the easiest ways to speak to people about it and to introduce it is to speak about it from the level of tea, from the consumption of it in a tea format where we're intentionally speaking to the soothing, the calming, the reduced anxiety. Because let's change the word cannabis to mint. When they speak of mint, they say the mint is relaxing. Yeah. The mint is soothing. They use those types of words. But when they speak about cannabis, they speak about it in a heightened kind of, CNN kind of deliver that message down the...
There's no relax. It's just bringing you down.
No,
you know,
no.
like,
So I think again, when we are intentional on moving the language, on the understanding, and the communication, and the conversationality of it, then we have to be more intentional on
With
the word.
bread, I mean,
Yes.
our friend Bert here does it with cookies. I can't imagine cannabis with bread, and then there's oils that you say are massage oils, and you've got a whole line of what's it called,
Rastafaro.
Rasta, and you're the Rastafaro.
It is Rastafaro. Yes, and
May I?
you may.
what's the spelling, Pharaoh? Like F. I want to see it. I want to see it.
PH. Original spelling.
So tell us about Rastafaro and all these products that are enlightening us. I mean, I've never heard of bread with cannabis. Have you, Bert?
I've heard of it because I've always wanted to do it. I just didn't know how, truthfully.
My
never
friend,
heard.
this is fabulous. We have a few different grains inside here. Please hold it. It's fabulous. You have to look at the
heavy.
weight of it.
Oh, yeah.
dense.
Oh my goodness!
It's like a
It's
sourdough.
like a brick.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very
So
dense.
It's so
it's-
heavy.
It is, but it is dense. We have hemp flour, hemp protein, cannabis oil, oats, molasses, right? In which to be able to, it's not a, what's that white bread called? White Wonder? It's not
Wonder
like that. It's not like that.
We wonder why it's
this
called
is
bread.
real. Okay, this is the grains, the process, the methodology, the intentionality. What's happening here is it's intended for you to have a slice of this bread and get the protein, get the good oils, get the benefits of the cannabis into your dietary system. And you'll be able to do that with 1 to 2 slices of this bread a day. And we have this conversation for individuals who are just thinking about getting into CBD and the oils and the applications of it. And I'm saying to you, well, what happened? They don't know how to approach it. They're willing to try, but it's the conversationality of it. It's like, oh my goodness, I don't know how, I don't know what. Great. How about we try it in jam?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? How about we try it, so when we're talking about it, we do with it a slice of bread and jam. And that, the social, the how to make it sociable.
I like the way to start your day. Like here.
Absolutely.
Your D?
I do.
What is your D?
Is day.
Oh,
My
your
day.
D.
What did you
Sorry,
say?
I thought you
No, you
said
said-
D. I was thinking, what's your D? Sorry,
The way
am I
start
mean to
start your
you?
day,
Am
like
I
a
mean to
slice
you?
of bread
It's a
and
unique
jam.
accent.
It's everybody does that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and jam.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like on a toast, on a slice of bread. Like
We have a process called wake and bake. Everybody knows this.
What's it called?
Wake and bake.
I'm Jewish.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
this thing.
We don't know about those things.
Wake and bake.
Yeah.
Oh, wake and bake? I
bacon.
thought you said wake and bacon.
Wake,
wake and bake.
Wake and bacon. No Jews are going to be eating
Humanity is all like a sleep and bake. That's what it is.
wake
Like,
and bacon.
don't
I
know.
love it. That's a new
Okay,
one.
wake
That's
and
a good
bake.
one. Wake and bake.
Wake and bake.
We do this with danishes. So we have a process in which where we introduce danishes in the morning. So we take puff pastry and we brush the cannabis butter on our puff pastry and then we add our jam to it. So this is again a way of introducing the product throughout the day and at a sociable level. What we have been paying attention to intentionality with the movement are women in cannabis. We know the research has told us that the movement for cannabis at a social level is going to be brought forth by women. And I'm
Really?
fully applauding that. I have 3 daughters that are in my company and 4 granddaughters. So as we were building our company, we were building it with intentionality that my daughters and my grandchildren will ultimately be running this company.
Really?
We see the future in cannabis. We know that it is going to be women that move it along that way. Yeah. So we are, it's a wonderful time for us.
But the reason why is because like we're gonna get rid of this like old-fashioned mentality to look at as it is, right?
And it is going to be the women that open up the level of social engagement in terms of the conversation, in terms of heightening, pardon the pun, heightening the conversation.
Literally heightening.
Heightening the
We
conversation.
also got, I'm sorry, to,
Yes.
I want to get it in
Yes.
about your oil and about the
Rastafaro.
Stuff, the
Yes.
Rastafaro, what it does, where can people get it?
Yes.
You have a website,
Yes.
which is very exciting. I can't, this bread is so heavy. Like, I think I'm in love.
You should be. It's wonderful.
It's
made from
amazing.
love.
I do need some love. Thank
do,
you.
yes.
Go
It's
ahead.
the same body density that you have.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we're getting into a little bit of fight here between the guys that are bigger guys and the poor little guy sitting over here. He's scared, Don't worry, we're not going to sit between you and squish you. Go ahead.
The Rastafaro line.
Rastafaro.
We've partnered
Can
up.
you say that with a Jamaican accent?
Rastafaro man.
Rastafaro man. All right, beautiful.
The Egyptians have a very long history with cannabis, and the Jamaicans also have a long history with cannabis. And in the development of our line, we joined this thing that was intrinsic to me, with this Jamaican culture and what we do and how we know and what we've always done with cannabis for health and wellness and from a spirituality aspect, and also in doing the research with Egypt and cannabis and fusing the two, we have come up with a pretty compelling story. And out of the story, we have created a line of products that we offer to the world. It can be seen and you can order from my line, from our website at anthonymeir.com. That's Anthony, ANTHONY, MAIR.com. And the line, our line of products are there, and we are adding products every week. Our number one seller on our website is the bath soak and scrub infused with CBD.
Wow.
Yes.
Why?
It is
Why is it
very-
number one?
Again, because of the women that are purchasing it, the benefits that have been achieved and arrived as a result of using it. The testimonials that you will see on the site are unbelievable regarding the outcomes of this product. So I can continue.
Is it erotic? Does it make you erotic? Is there hope for me?
Marty Gallen, we do have, I'm answering your question now.
Yes.
We do have a erotic massage oil. We also have
Order a case for Marty.
yes, can you please? We also have the we have all the oils and the tinctures and the salves and the balms as well. Bath bombs. We have the one for the lips. Lip balms. We have the massage for pain and the erotic massage oils as well.
Yeah. So, and the oils that we're looking at here,
I have
you know what?
brought
I'm a
you-
little distracted, but there seems to be a cat that's
is a
walked
cat.
into the set. I don't know
Somebody's
who
pussy's walking
why
around.
did somebody let their cat walk in?
Studio
Take
cat.
that cat over, Enrico. What's that cat? What's that?
CBD?
Why is there a cat
I
in
think
the middle of our?
I
The
think
cat's
because
stealing the show.
Yes.
I think because he's looking at your breath. I think he's staring
Look
at
at
the
the
breath.
cat.
isn't
He's like, sure. He wants some of those oils.
Well, you should want the oil.
So what
I
are
have
these
brought-
oils? Can
brought
I hand
some-
you this bread?
Yes, please.
Do I get it back?
You can.
All right. Thank you. All
We
right.
have brought the massage oil for you as a sample.
Right.
I'd like for you to try it. It's important.
Would you be willing to put it on me?
No, Marty. I'm not-
You really ruined a good time, Anthony. I thought somebody's gonna. I've never had somebody rub.
Maybe the cat will put on him.
Thank you, Enrico. Thank you.
It'll be the cat. But I would love for you to try it.
I will.
This is
And this is CBD infused.
CBD and THC.
Where do we rub it?
1-to-1.
All over your pain parts.
Well, how about the parts that aren't in pain or
You know,
just are
this is,
lonely?
this is not the oil for that.
Okay.
We have another oil for
All right.
that.
And the website is
the website is anthonymeir.com.
Anthony. This has been so wonderful. I mean, the bread and the Rastafaro and all this stuff. Guys, I hope that you know the feeling of 25 years later of this guy that was a young chef and now an amazing chef, and all the stuff that you're doing and the stuff that you've done with street kids over the years.
you.
I'll never forget that.
Thank you.
So I don't know, guys, did you enjoy it? What did you think about Anthony?
Oh, as an amazing person. Look at the charisma that he has with him. And the line of product that he has. I'm so curious to go look at it and see every single product you have. Seems like there is so much of variety that I can choose of. I want to try them all.
I look forward
I
to
got a
it.
lot of questions for him, but I don't
do?
think we have time. There's
Well,
some
I'm
things
waiting
here
for-
that I've never made. I'd love to make.
Well, you know
you're-
what? Why don't we try it? And next time I gonna ask him.
You'll rub
question.
it on my back.
No way.
Are you suggesting
Why
this
is
is
no
for
one
pain?
willing to rub my back with a little bit of oil?
If you want, I can rub
gonna
on your
try it.
hands.
Okay.
On your hands,
All right.
that's
and
it.
final words from Anthony Meir, the dear chef and kind man, and a man that changed the face of cooking.
Thank you, Marty.
What's your final words?
The CBD, cannabis, THC industry, what's happening with cannabis on a global level is so extremely exciting. I started having dreams when I was 19 years old of cooking and putting cannabis into food. I didn't know anything about cannabis when I was 19. So this journey for me, before I actually executed anything in cannabis, I had dreams about putting it for cannabis into products and foods. So I was led. I was led to this point. I didn't choose this journey. This thing chose me. So for me to be here and to have had the experiences that I've had and to go with it without knowing where I was going to end up, that's faith. So from the conjuring of these emotions to the actualizing of the development of these products to serving them and tasting them and rubbing them on private parts, so on and so forth. It is such an amazing moment to be alive, man. Yeah? I'm talking, I get up and I'm floating most days. That's not
Really?
because I'm on high. You know, I know what
Yeah.
you're thinking, Marty.
No,
Stop smoking so much weed, Anthony.
Hey, man, don't smoking the weed, man. No,
It's way deeper than that.
I love it.
it's the passion. We
He's
got the
realizing the vision that he had.
That's
Absolutely.
right. And make it reality.
Yes.
And we thank you for
Thanks.
sharing your reality with us and all the viewers and listeners and touching our hearts.
Thank you, brother.
So much.
Next
I'm gonna
time,
cry.
see you.
We
Thank
will
you.
talk about this.
I
I'm
look
gonna try
forward.
it. We'll talk about
I
it.
look
Yeah, where's that other
forward.
bottle there?
Right here, brother.
All right, let's take that one.
Oh, boy, he wants to make sure he gets his bottle.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anthony.
Cheers and cheers.
And the quest goes on.
Love is love.
And the dream is alive.
Thank you very much.
you.
Thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you.
nice.
Cheers.